Township Police say 14-year-old Claire Miller, who lives here with her family at this home on Clayton Road in Manheim Township, called police a little after 1 a.m. and said she had killed.
It was an eerie night in Manheim Township, where people were tucked in their beds, blanketed in tranquility. The police department was silent, with officers sipping their coffee while staring at the beautiful snow. His peace was shattered by a 911 call. "I stabbed my sister!" A chill went through the dispatcher's spine because those words were almost monotonous. When the teenager said those words, police rushed out of their department. Their car stopped in front of a luxurious house, where a teenage girl was standing on the threshold. Her hands, pants, and the snow around her were covered in crimson blood. A set of gloves lay on the snow, and it seemed that the teenager was trying to wash her hands with the snow. When the officers stopped in front of her, they heard her saying, "I stabbed my sister. I stabbed my sister." The teenager's face was blank, shocked and white with fear. She turned on her tiptoes and led the officers toward an upstairs room, repeating her confession as she moved. The room had an eerie stillness, its shadows deepened by the dim light. On the bed lay what appeared to be a bundle of pillows and blankets, concealing something sinister. When the officers pulled back the blanket, a dark red stain spread across the sheets came into view. Beneath the pillow, they found a beautiful girl, her face and neck smeared with blood, and vivid crimson stark against her pale skin. A knife was still lodged in the girl's neck. A shriek startled the officers, and they turned around to find an old couple being hysterical. Past, September 1997. Mark and Marie Miller, two lovebirds, got into a married bond on a beautiful day in September 1997. Riches were around them, and laughter filled their majestic house in Manheim Township, Pennsylvania. When Marie got the news of her pregnancy, she was over the moon. 2002. It was a bright morning in 2002 when Helen Miller came into the world. Joy filled the room and smiles lit up the faces of Mark and Marie Miller as they held their healthy newborn. But the moment the doctor examined her, their beautiful world came crashing down. Helen was suffering from cerebral palsy. Now let's stop this here for all those who don't know about cerebral palsy. It's an extreme kind of physical disorder in which the person can't use their limbs properly. They spend most of their lives in wheelchairs and can't speak coherent sentences. Fortunately, this disease doesn't get worse with age if the patient is properly taken care of. Coming back to Mark and Marie's world. Doctors explained this disease to the couple, and they decided to give everything to Helen: their love, time, care, energy, and money. In 2005, Mark bought a ranch worth $495,000 in the name of Helen. Their house worth $500,000 is listed under the irrevocable trust in her name. Mark and Marie's lives revolved around Helen when they received the news of a second pregnancy. 2007. It was another bright morning in 2007 when Marie gave birth to Claire Miller. The girl opened her eyes to worrisome yet happy parents and a disabled 5-year-old sister. Seeing their healthy baby, Mark and Marie promised to give the best of the world to their kids. Over the years, the world witnessed how they fulfilled their promise. Both Claire and Helen attended Lancaster Country Day School, the most expensive private school in the area. Claire stood out as a bright and witty student, actively participating in various extracurricular activities. She played on the field hockey team, served on the middle school activities committee, and even held the position of co-president of her 9th grade class.
Fortnite battle pass, I just out my ass.
On the other hand, Helen was famous for artistic talent. With her watercolors and vivid imagination, she created masterpieces that captured the attention of many. Her exceptional skills even earned her a couple awards, showcasing her remarkable creativity. This reflected just how much Mark and Marie were striving to provide the best for their children. Helen and Claire's relationship. Helen was entirely dependent on those around her, and Claire embraced the role of her devoted assistant with love and patience. She cared for her older sister in every way, bathing her, spending time with her, and accompanying her to doctor's appointments. Claire faced Helen's seizures with resilience and did her best to bring joy to her sister's days. Whenever Helen was too unwell to attend school, Claire stayed home as well, ensuring she was never alone. She was the example of a perfect daughter and sister, making Mark and Marie proud of her. But underneath that calm and sacrificing daughter, something evil was lurking. It was to that extent that 14-year-old Claire killed her 19-year-old sister Helen. Claire joined the TikTok community with the name Spirit and Such Consulting. Her videos were typical of a teenager's content, lip-syncing to popular songs and showcasing innocent dance moves. That quickly gave her a growing following and a fair share of fame. There were a few videos of Claire where we could see her happy dad and a glimpse of Helen in her wheelchair in the background. People adored Claire's content and praised her for featuring her sister and father in her videos. Her following quickly grew from 0 to 22,000 as viewers connected with her warmth and authenticity. She was showered with attention and love that was missing in her personal life for a long time. Yes, that's another side of the coin. Claire's parents' whole attention was on Helen. She was in the spotlight while Claire was in the background. Her life was dominated by Helen's disease and silent sacrifices. Her parents were so busy with Helen that she was unable to vocalize her feelings and thoughts to them. Emotions were building up inside her. There was no one to listen to her. Maybe she wanted to shriek, wanted to cry, and no one was there for her. Fans began to notice how much time Claire spent on TikTok. Her content was constant, reflecting that the platform had become one of the largest parts of her life. It became her escape from her family, a place where she could be in the spotlight and feel in control. This newfound sense of ownership over her online persona started to consume her, and soon she began distancing herself from her parents and sister. The Millers began noticing Claire's mood swings and her increasingly unexplainable behavior. At first, they were concerned but quickly dismissed it as a typical teenage attitude. However, there was something more sinister going on in Claire's mind, something that became increasingly evident through her content. Her videos, once lighthearted and playful, began to take on a darker tone, revealing a side of her that her family had yet to fully understand. Her TikTok videos started focusing on Japanese anime more and more with time. The cosplaying videos of anime characters that are linked to mysteries or murders were prominent on her feed. The anime content was just the beginning of Claire's transformation. Over time, her videos took a darker turn, becoming increasingly eerie and absurd. The once lighthearted tone was replaced with unsettling themes, as Claire began mentioning death in both her captions and videos.
Why didn't you tell me? Well, because I wanted us to fail.
Viewers thought she was just an ordinary teenage girl, unable to navigate her adolescence. But in reality, Claire was feeling lonely. Her inner frustration was leading her toward murder instincts and suicidal thoughts. One day, while spending time with a friend, Claire suddenly blurted out, "I would have killed someone sooner or would have committed suicide." Her friend may have told her parents, and they might have discussed the troubling statement with Claire. But despite their concern, they took no further action. They were already overwhelmed by the challenges they faced with Helen's condition. The idea of sending another daughter to the psychiatric ward seemed unimaginable. Alas, they ignored their red flags. After a few days of this incident, Claire posted this TikTok video.
Like I'm dead, you killed me, I'm dead now. Shut up, Deku! Oh. Bitch, I'm a ghost! I could go on for days and days, yeah, I do the most! Wait.
That same night, she killed her sister, Helen. It was the unfortunate night when Claire was trying to sleep, but she was unable to do it. According to her, she was having different nightmares where demons were haunting her. She sat on her bed full of sweat. Then, no one knew what came into her mind. She went downstairs in the kitchen, grabbed a pair of gloves and wore them. Then she went through the drawers and took out the sharpest knife from there. Taking it in her hand, she went toward her sister's room, who was sleeping peacefully. After stabbing her sister and calling the officers, she made the video and posted them on her TikTok. There was one video of her sister's bloodied hand, one video of bloody gloves, and one video of a stuffed animal full of blood on the ice. These videos became viral before they were taken down on TikTok. When Claire was killing her sister and making the videos, her parents were peacefully sleeping in the other room. Officers were the ones to wake them up. Around 4:36 a.m. that night, they declared Helen as deceased and arrested Claire. They tried to investigate and ask her about the reason for the murder, but they were unable to find any.
Measures on the sister, but they were unsuccessful. Investigators took Claire Miller into custody. She is being charged as an adult with homicide. Her arraignment is soon at a local district justice office. Investigators are still looking into what could be the motive in...
Later on, psychiatrists concluded that Claire was suffering from mental health issues that contributed to the tragic events that unfolded. They determined that while she wasn't legally insane, her mental struggles have severely impaired her judgment and emotional stability. In this whole case, the most concerning thing was the growing TikTok account of Claire. People started following her after her disturbing videos and actions. She got almost 11,000 followers overnight. The worst thing was, most of these followers were romanticizing the murder. Quite concerning. That's why TikTok took down Claire's account after the incident. In court, Claire was treated as an adult, not a juvenile, because under Pennsylvania law, homicide is considered an adult crime. As a result, she was sent to an adult prison without the option for bail. 2 years later, the case continued to unfold, and ultimately Claire was sentenced to up to 40 years in prison for her sister's murder. We don't know the exact reason for Claire's killing her sister, but no reason could defend her actions. What are your thoughts about this? Do share with us in the comments section down below.